All right, welcome back. It's time for Wise Guys Wednesday.
Yeah, Venus is the brightest object high in the western sky right now, and today it reaches its farthest point from the sun.
Here to share about how that's all happening, we have Professor David Leake, who is joining us from his home this morning over video chat. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having me on today. I'm kind of tired right now.
A little bit.
Yeah, as far as Venus goes, maybe you've noticed, I mean, we all supposed to be quarantined inside of our homes naturally, but you still can go outside and check out the sky. So it's like having this museum out there that you can all go and look at. And the brightest thing that you can see in the western sky is actually the planet Venus. And I want to tell you what's going on with Venus. It's bright for two reasons, and you can see here, number one, is it's completely covered with clouds. It's always a cloudy day on Venus. Aaron would have an easy time doing the weather on Venus because it's always cloudy. And the clouds are made up of sulfuric acid and are very reflective. 3/4 of the light that Venus gets from the sun gets reflected back into space. So that's one reason. Also, Venus is fairly close. Of all the other planets, Venus comes closest to us. And I want to show you what's going on with Venus's orbit. So I have here my sun, and Venus is this tennis ball. So obviously you have all the planets that are going around the sun. But since we're looking from the Earth, you're kind of looking at things this way. So Venus is going around this way. Now, you never want to look at Venus when it's in front of the sun. That's bad. That's bad for the eyes. That's called a conjunction. And if Venus is back here behind the sun, obviously you don't want to look at it then either. The best time to catch Venus is when it's over here, like on the side, something like this. And that's called an elongation. And that actually just happened yesterday. So that means Venus was at its farthest point. It's not farthest point really from the sun itself, but it's how we look at it. So this distance here is about 4 fists. So if you go outside and hold a fist out at arm's length, it's about 4 fists from the sun. So here's what you're seeing in the sky now. So obviously we don't want to look at Venus too much in the daytime. So if you can kind of see my table down here, this is sort of our horizon. So as the sun sets, okay, so now the sun is set, imagine, let's get rid of the sun, imagine the orbit of Venus like this. So you're seeing Venus very, very high in the sky. Now Venus is also coming towards us a little bit. So it's going to start to look a little bit more like a crescent moon, and it's going to get brighter. And if we could see image number 2, you'll be able to see there's the phases of Venus. Venus goes through phases a lot like our moon, and as you go from right to left there, see how it looks a little bit more like a crescent. This was the nail in the coffin for the idea that the Earth was at the center of the solar system. So this was the proof that Venus was actually orbiting the sun. You might be able to catch this in binoculars when it gets to be more of a crescent here. Now, Venus is going to be bright now, but it's getting lower in the sky, and by the end of May, it's going to be tough to see. But a couple of things for you to look for. One is this Saturday, the moon is going to be right next to Venus. It's always wonderful to see the moon very, very close to Venus, the second and third brightest things in the sky. And then on April the 3rd, get your binoculars out, because Venus is going to appear to pass across the Pleiades, or the Seven Sisters star cluster. And that ought to be a really cool sight. Now, it's all up to Aaron, though, all up to Adam, excuse me, because we have to have some clear skies. Haven't had too many of those lately. So keep in mind this orbit of Venus and how it's kind of coming at you, but then it's going to be kind of in conjunction with the sun at the end of May. So go out and check it out this Saturday, and then also on April 3rd when it passes in front of the star cluster.
All right, so limited time only. See Venus while you still can. Hopefully this fog will clear up so we can take a look at it this Saturday, right?
And it'll go into the morning sky after that, so then you guys get to see it when you go.
Awesome.